Hello, everyone. Guys, I am so excited that you're here today. If you are just hopping onto this live broadcast, my name is Nicole Walters of NicoleWalters.com, and I am an entrepreneur, a business owner, an income strategist, which means I help you build a business that is both profitable and popular. So today's live broadcast is going to be a ton of fun. Why? Because I'm here and I look great, and it's after work, which means all good things are happening. So I want you, if you can hear me clearly, if you are excited to chat about the solution to burnout, type in the comments below. Just say, hey, I'm glad I'm here. I'm super excited. And Nicole, all your friends are good looking, so I know this is going to enrich my life. Go ahead and type that in the comments below. I'm so excited. I see we've got Monica on, and Shannon's here. Maria's here. Carol Ann's here. Mark Emanuel, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for popping in. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. This is going to be a terrific broadcast. Now, what we're going to talk about today is something that I think a lot of us encounter, whether it is an entrepreneur, whether you are an everyday stay-at-home mom, or you are working in your career 9 to 5. Odds are you have dealt with burnout. Now, we're going to dive into what burnout is, how it can impact our lives, and a little bit with my special experts that I brought on here today to talk about some initial places we can start to really kind of see change in burnout and identify it in our life. Now, this is a part of a 3-part series. What that means is tomorrow we will be back again at 7 o'clock to discuss burnout. Now, today we're talking about how to identify it. Tomorrow we will talk about what to do about it. And then on Friday, we're going to discuss resources that you can use to actually start fixing burnout in your life so that you can be more present for your family, your business, and yourself. Now, I want to introduce my guests here today. We've got Warren and Amira Woodruff. Oh, I'm sorry, Doctors. Listen, you guys paid a lot of money for those 2 letters, okay? Everyone needs to use them. Doctors, Warren and Amira Woodruff. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you for having us. And yes, we are doctors. We're both dentists, but we're amongst friends, so we're
Yes. It's, if you guys don't know, I mean, I went to Hopkins and all my friends are doctors, and I can't even believe they're doctors now because I'm like, weren't we just like playing beer pong? Weren't we just hanging out? Like, are you kidding me? You're a frat kid. So I recognize that you guys are rich friends, that we're keeping it casual, that we are all in good company. But everyone give a warm welcome to the Woodruffs. They are career burnout experts. Now, what's amazing about what they offer, I have got a hair in my eye. Y'all see me trying to be professional. This is story of my life. I'm here trying to do a nice broadcast. You see, story of my life. Got a fuzz in my face. I was trying to be elegant about it. You see, hot mess.
It happens to me. I'm dealing with it too. So.
You know what I'm saying? Now it's just time for me to just drop the pretenses. Y'all, we're just about to talk. Burnout is when you are at work and you are typing angrily. It is when, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's when you are on that keyboard adding your politest words that you can stomach. When you're like, hitherand to for, see reference attached document, please touch base with the counting, right? When you start typing angrily at work, you've probably hit burnout. And the Woodruffs know all about it. So tell us more. Well, before we dive into what burnout looks like, tell us more about your background. Now, you guys are both dentists, and you spend hours and hours and hours looking at people's mouths. God bless you. Now, tell me, does burnout ever happen in your profession? Is this something you've ever run into in both college and medical school getting into this world?
Absolutely. I mean, even just the buildup and the education of actually becoming a dentist,
Sure.
It's so much work, it's so much stress, just like any professional degree you're working for. And it definitely leads to burnout in itself. And then now I got my degree, I'm going to start working, everything's perfect, this is the life, this is what I asked for. And then you're like, okay, the days go by, the months go by, the years go by. I thought this was supposed to start to feel less like burnout. What's going on? Is it just me? Is it, now I'm talking to Warren about it. Is it just us?
Sure.
You find out that tons and tons of people within our career feeling the same way. Tons of people outside of our career, not just the when we say professions, we think it includes everybody, not just doctors, attorneys, everybody. And I think the number one, I know a lot of your community can understand this. A lot of people will agree that one of the hardest jobs is a stay-at-home parent.
Yes.
A very quick way to lead to burnout, especially when you're not given help or you don't.
Ooh, so let's talk. repeat that one more time for the people in the back, okay? If you are a stay-at-home mom, if you are with those kids all day and then helping your husband cooking and cleaning at night, that is one of the quickest way to get to burnout. You don't need to have a 9 to 5. And you said, I think what was so powerful that we need to write it, circle it down, and keep it going is that if you don't have help or if you don't accept help. Yes, preach. So you guys have, worked with professionals, talked to professionals, been around professionals and everyday people that have been struggling with burnout, and it's become your passion. It's your thing that you're saying life can be so much more. So for those of you guys who don't know, who are just hopping on, we are chatting about burnout. We're talking about what it's like when you are getting into the routine of life and life is just turning up the steam and you aren't giving yourself a break to the point where you're almost operating like a zombie. And you don't even realize how tired you are. And you end up hitting burnout. Now, we're here with the Woodruffs that are burnout experts. They have strategies, tools, techniques. They are both doctors and have dealt with professionals that have been in this place for a long time. So let's get back to talking about burnout. Now, burnout is the type of thing that I think that goes unspoken a lot of the times. Like when it comes to identifying it in your life, you don't even realize it, right? It just kind of becomes part of who you are. Am I right?
You're definitely right. The people who tend to feel burnout the most are the people who are the high achievers. So because you feel like you can do everything. And because you feel like you can do everything, you think it's normal to feel like, okay, I'm stressed, but this is normal, this is life, and you keep doing it and you keep doing it. And slowly it just becomes too much.
Yeah,
the norm, wow.
The high achievers too, they're so usually driven to one thing that they're doing over and over again. Yeah. And when you're only doing that one thing you're focused on, if it's your career or anything that you're doing, that's when that burnout comes in because you just do not have a variety of other things that you're in. So that's important.
Oh, that's so valid. So you guys, if you are listening to this, if you are someone who finds yourself just kind of, I'm always a little tired, like I just thought that's what parenting is. Right? Just I'm a mom and I'm always tired. It's the norm. Or, hey, I'm always going to the office and coffee is my routine. Like that's just what it is. And it just feels like it's part of your life. But you know that as a high achiever, you're still performing with excellence. It's very easy to ignore it. Like you said, to say, well, this is just how I do it. Right? Like as long as I'm getting results, as long as everyone else's needs are met, am I right? Can I just get a yup, that's me from the mamas out there. As long as everyone else's needs are met, then I know that it must be fine. Who cares that I feel like this, right? So tell me a little bit more about what burnout actually feels like. What are some symptoms of burnout? Like how does it affect our lives? Where is it manifesting? Like what can I look at and say concretely, this is a symptom of burnout?
So exhaustion, lack of motivation to complete tasks on time, stress, always thinking about work if you have a 9-to-5 job, going home and not shutting it off. Always I mean, smartphones are one of the things that just make life so much more tough because you're always connected to your work or your job or your clients or even if you're at home with your kids, you're always connected to something. So those are just some of the symptoms.
Immediate symptoms. Wow. And what's funny is we always say to ourselves, because it's the norm, we associate being on our phones at home like, well, I'm a productive employee, right? Like there are times where I've told myself that if I check my phone that I'm getting ahead of the next day. Am I the only person who's ever done that? Who said, okay, well, I finished my work a little early. So instead of me sitting back, right, I got the kids to bed early or I finished up dinner. Let me actually throw in another load of laundry. Or let me go ahead and get in my inbox ahead of the emails for tomorrow. And before you know it, you've actually given your job a couple more extra hours of work. Or as a mom, you've taken away from your personal time and you spend extra time doing loads of laundry. Guys, if you have ever done this before, if you're the mom right now who's saying, oh, well, I'm making 10 extra casseroles to try to get ahead of tomorrow's dinner, just go ahead and give me that below in the comments, right? You're just going right to the next thing thinking I'm getting ahead of it. But before you know it, you're adding extra pressure. So you guys definitely nailed it. And now I want to know, we're going to get real. We're going to get personal about it. Have either one of you actually experienced burnout? And what happened? What was your trigger point? What made you say, oh my goodness, I have hit burnout and I need to do something about it?
Yeah. So me personally, when I graduated dental school, one of my passions I used to always love to do is play basketball. And so that was always my...
wait, hold on a second. Amira, was he any good? Be honest. Be honest.
But I mean, in dental school, when I was playing, I did hit the 3-pointer.
He was good, but I was better. I love it. So sorry to hear about your passion, Dr. Woodruff.
So anyway,
what happened?
I was playing basketball, playing in the summer league, just graduated dental school, getting ready to start my career. And I went up for a rebound, and I landed, and I felt a big pop in my leg. And the next thing I found out after going to the hospital and getting a diagnosis, I tore my Achilles tendon. And so
wow.
That was just very draining because I was excited. I just got out of school, ready to working. I have something I like to do on the side. And so after that, the next several years, I really didn't play basketball or anything. So I just decided to put my whole focus on my career. And so we were working 5-6 days a week. When I was driving, I was, listening to dental CDs. If I was at home, I was reading dental magazines because that was just the only thing I was doing. And so
so can I pause your story here for just 1 second? Because I want to make sure everyone hears what happens here. So you had something that you love to do, and by no fault of your own, you weren't able to do that anymore. So I think a lot of us have that where it's like we have a hobby we love, but you know what? Our kid needs, summer camp classes or wants to take a sport. So before we know it, we take away our hobbies, we take away the thing we love, and we put all of our effort into our children or into our family or into something else. And before you know it, we're spending all of our time doing work, which is what it sounds like it was for you. And work was absorbing your life, even in the places like in your car where it was like a positive, happy atmosphere. You weren't even taking a break there. Yeah. I mean, that's just so unfortunate. So then what happened next? So I mean, now we're lopsided, right? Like it's all work, no play, makes Warren an unhappy boy. So what happened?
So fast forward maybe 5 years after the injury, one of my close friends, he reached out to me and he said, do you want to run this half marathon with me? And I was looking at him like he's crazy. I've only made...
I would have. Listen, running is not my ministry. Okay, this is why you need to get rid of those friends. When you have friends around you, look. If I have any of my friends being like, "We're doing a marathon," I'm gonna be like, "A marathon to what? The fridge? We are not here. We are not about to do this. Watch out for those friends." No. So he said he wants to run a marathon. And of course, how'd you react?
He asked me. I looked at him like he's crazy. I'm like, more than 2 miles at a time, and
right.
I still mentally, even though I was physically healed, I was like, how is my body going to be able to withstand 13.1 miles of running? And so I told him no initially. Then several days went by, and I just kept thinking about it more and more. And I just said, just give it a shot. And so I called him back, told him, I'm going to do it. I told Amira. I actually convinced Amira to do it. I was very shocked that she said yes.
I was shocked I said yes, too.
I know. We'll do anything for love.
So for the next 5 months, it was in between the time of when the half marathon was in the training. I downloaded the app on my phone, and every day I had to run so many miles. And at first it was hard, but then over time I really started enjoying it and enjoying running outside.
No, Warren, you are amongst friends. I'm gonna need you to tell the truth. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Not today, Satan. You're not about to come in my broadcast talking about some running is enjoyable. I'm not doing it right now. Okay, you're not gonna lie to my friends.
So running on a treadmill is really boring, but I found we have some nature trails in our city that we live in, and so running on those nature trails and seeing places I never even knew were in my community, that was something that kept me from
and that's amazing.
At the time. So, I mean, doing that, as I continued to do that, then I started listening to music I used to like or listening to sports, things I'm into, running. And it just gave me so much more joy leading up to the race that I was like, wow, this is actually helping to fight that burnout that I was in.
So you didn't even realize you were in burnout until you started experiencing things that you loved again. And you were like, how was I living before? Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Now, I want to hear from you guys. Now, that story I think is very familiar to a lot of us. How many of you guys have, gone out and done something and said to yourself, wow, I forgot how much I like this? I think that a lot of moms and professionals, when we get a weekend or when we get a vacation or something like that, we'll say to ourselves, gosh, I forgot that I even liked doing that. Mm-hmm. And it's the saddest thing because it's not that we don't love being moms or we don't love our jobs or accounting doesn't make our heart sing or accounting makes no one's heart sing. Let's stop. That we don't love doing the jobs that we do and we don't love helping and serving people. But you know what? We're so much more. And I think this is one of your passions. We're so much much more than what it is that we do. Now, if you guys didn't know and you're just tuning in, the Woodruffs are the creators of a website called whatareyoumorthan.com. Whatareyoumorthan.com. And I definitely want you guys to check this out because whatareyoumorthan.com is an amazing resource for anyone who is saying to themselves, I am really trying to figure out how to get back to myself. And I want to fight burnout. And I also want to learn what else can I do? What else can I do to like find more balance in my life? Now, I have the link below. If you see it there, whatareyoumorthan.com, check it out. It's great stuff, great resource if you find that you are dealing with some of that same burnout. And I see that a lot of you guys in the comments pop that in there as well. Now, I'm telling you that burnout is so real. I felt it before, but you know what, Warren? I wasn't like you. And Amira, maybe my story is similar to yours. I was in my first couple of years of entrepreneurship, and what happened was I was so excited about what I was doing, and I think some of you guys may relate to this. It was new to me. So I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. I could do this for 12 hours a day. Like, it's my favorite thing in the whole world. I'll work my 9 to 5, and then I'll indulge myself with this side hustle that isn't a job, right? It's a side hustle. So I can't burn out on this. But before you know it, I'm losing more sleep. I'm spending more time at work. And here's how I knew burnout was coming. And you guys are the experts. So tell me if this sounds like burnout to you. So I started noticing that I was making silly mistakes. Like silly mistakes at work. Like my attention to detail was starting to drop, where I would send an email, but I would forget to attach it as like a document to it. Just like things that I never really would do. Or I would forget someone's name and my memory felt like it was slipping. Or I felt like I was like in a mental fog. I mean, I just wasn't operating at 100%. Now, does that sound like burnout to you guys?
Absolutely. So stress in the body affects the body in so many different ways, mentally and physically. So like imagine, for example, if you had the worst day of your life, there was a car accident, there was some sort of tragedy, and then people ask you about that day. It's really hard to remember all the details. It becomes kind of foggy. There's things that you can't quite remember. It's like a memory loss for that stressful time. Burnout, wow. The stress that's chronic, that over a period of time, you slowly start experiencing the same symptoms. It's just over a period of time. So exactly what you're saying is one of the number one symptoms of burnout.
Wow. I mean, that I honestly want to say, I think that's probably freeing for some of you guys, right? Like to hear that if you are feeling symptoms where you're like, I feel like I don't even remember things, or like when I was working so hard, I'd be driving. I don't even know how I got to work. It was almost like I got in the car and all of a sudden I appeared at the office. I don't remember if I listened to anything on the radio. It's just kind of, I feel like I'm operating like a robot a little bit. Guys, if you are feeling any of this, or if this sounds familiar to you, just type in the comments below, that this is something familiar, or I never really thought mental fog or memory loss could be a symptom of burnout, because you could be living this right now. You could be living this right now. Now, this conversation is so powerful, and I'm sure we could stay here and talk about it forever, but we do have 2 more sessions in this series to be able to chat about this more, to be able to go into more details, and we are going to break down what we can do. Tomorrow, here, 7 p.m., we're going to talk about what we can do to actually fight through burnout, to actually get that change, to actually help ourselves, start making the progress towards seeing a difference in our life. And if you're dealing with things like mental fog, I think that all of us moms on here, everyone who's listening and saying to themselves that fog is familiar, we know that we don't want to be in that state for our parents. Right? For our children. And we know we don't want to be in that state for our spouse. I know that you guys, as the experts, you guys probably know that, or have experienced that, like there are things, you're more likely to have fights with your spouse, right? Like I imagine that there are other consequences of burnout that people can experience. Can you share some of those with us?
Well, I think one of the things, and this kind of is touching on to what Warren was saying earlier about with the cell phone and how it's connected to work. I think another thing about the cell phone is that it kind of makes you feel like you're connected to people in a community, like you are doing things outside of work because you're seeing what people are doing. You might have a chat with text, and it's just a way to make you feel like you're being connected. You have all this outside life outside of work, when really it's not. You take away what have you actually done outside of your job? Not much.
Wow. That's very and you're right. It's very misleading. I mean, I think social media has a tendency to make us feel like we are in touch with people more often, or that we are hanging out with people, and it kind of works as an example in place of actual social interaction. And we're not tapping into that thing that we're more than our work, and we're not engaging in that. Just like you guys always say, just like at whatareyoumorethan.com, you guys are always talking about this being an ongoing issue, that we almost pacify ourselves and make ourselves feel like we're doing enough by just having the internet. So for those of you guys who are hopping on here live, we're going to be wrapping up very soon, but this has been a very engaging conversation. We are on here with the Woodruffs, Dr. Amira and Dr. Warren Woodruff. They are burnout experts, and they help people figure out what they are more than, meaning we're all more than our 9-to-5 situation. And I don't want to just say jobs, because you guys always talk about how, being a stay-at-home mom isn't labeled as an official job, but it is one. And, we are so much more than just that 9-to-5 situation where we spend the majority of our time. And what's great is they want us to explore that, because what I'm hearing is, especially from Dr. Warren's story, that this is actually a way for us to actually get out of burnout, is by exploring what we're more than, which is more than our 9-to-5. Is that about right?
Exactly. Yeah. I think that society makes a lot of people feel like they're supposed to be one-dimensional people. And all of us are one-dimensional beings. And we definitely experience that in our profession with being dentists. You feel like, when I'm outside of the office, am I still supposed to have this, I'm a dentist persona? So
I got to know. So let everyone know then, what are you guys more than? If we're gonna put it all out there, what is your side thing that you do? Because I know that you have this amazing business where you're helping professionals and everyday people fight burnout and discover what they're more than. But let me know, what is your thing? Are you a basketball player? Are you a pro basketball player, Dr. Warren? Just own it. Just own it. Are you a marathon runner? What is it?
I really like helping people. So I'm a consultant. I help people with their websites, and when it comes to, just helping make their websites more profitable.
That's awesome.
I also like to do video editing. I'm really into technology, so anything with that. But I love sports too. So I'm really into fantasy football. I know a lot of people.
Oh boy, here we go.
So when that's going on, yeah, that takes on.
I love it though. But I love that, just like you guys are saying as experts, that none of those things have anything to do with your 9-to-5. And Dr. Amira, what do you do?
Well, I started out, one of the ways I tried to break out of my burnout years ago was I've always loved painting. And so I took a painting class and I loved it, and I would paint at home. But one of the things I loved even more than painting was acting. And I'd done a lot of acting when I was younger, but I kind of strayed away from it in school. I just didn't have time. And then after school, honestly, didn't feel like it was appropriate. I was thinking, what would patients think if they see me on the television or in a commercial? Or
that's amazing. Wow.
Is this appropriate? So I didn't do it for a long time. And I started, I talked to Warren about it. I was like, no, this is also who I am. And I think that we learned a lot in seeing that our patients have been excited about learning about me being on a commercial, or I'm working on the television in front of them.
Yeah.
And it makes for excitement. And when people feel like they know you as a full person, it creates a better relationship with them and with other people in your life too. So
I love that.
Because we're more than dentists. Like we're full people, and we shouldn't have to feel like we have to just stay in that one little box.
Oh, that's such a good note, guys. That is so, so good. And I'm seeing people on here saying like, I am more than a crafter and a lifestyle coach. Like, I love that. Guys, we are going to be diving into what you are more than tomorrow. So when you tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here, we're going to be diving into what you are more than with the Woodruffs, these career burnout experts. And they're going to help you as a soccer mom start taking on the initial steps to discover what you're more than, to discover where you can be, to start fighting burnout, to start really finding a way to enjoy your life more and be more present. Because as a mom, you can't be all the things for everybody. And you definitely can't do that if you're tired. So I am so grateful to both of you guys for taking the time out today to meet my rich friends. Hey, rich friends, right? Meet the rich friends and to also share all this valuable knowledge. And I'm so grateful that you're engaging in this 3-part series to discuss the thing that I think that a lot of us can feel guilty about admitting that, you know, as a mom, I am just tired, you know, and I need to figure out a way to keep going, but to also not lose who I am. So I'm so grateful. I mean, we have people on here who are saying that they are in tears because they didn't know how badly they needed to hear that this was a real thing, that burnout is real, that there are real symptoms, and that there is a way out. So if this has been powerful and impactful for you, the first thing you want to do is go to whatareyoumorthan.com right below, check it out, meet the Woodruffs, learn about what they have there as an opportunity for you. They've got great tools to help you fight burnout right now. And of course, come back tomorrow at 7 p.m. where we're going to start diving into the details so you can learn even more about how to get burnout out of your life and be more fulfilled. You guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
You're the absolute best. Thank you guys. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. We are so grateful that you're able to join us, and we'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Bye.
Bye.